Hello my dudes, welcome back to the Endless Sands. This episode, well, first up, you're probably wondering why I look like I'm wearing my pajamas, like some weird budget superhero. Yeah, well this is my spacesuit. I took off my armor because it's a bit too hot in the desert to be wearing full plate mail. But where was I? Yeah, this episode is the start of a mini-series where we take a look at the brand new mod called Oritech. It looks really cool, really fun. It's been on my radar for a while, and I really want to check it out. So without further ado, let's jump in to Oritech. Now there's never really been a better time to start this because our colony is going really well, but we're not above 4 colonists yet, which means we don't have raids. Now, I've been reading the comment section, and a massive thank you for all of your comments. I love reading them, and to be honest, I don't know where I'd be without all of your tips, advice, and comments. Now, number 1, you guys mentioned why I'm seeing so much dirt in my builds. Well, come with me. So over here at the Builder's Hut, now I didn't realize this was a thing because all the colonies I've done so far have been on like dirt biomes in forests and things. I've never done a sand colony, and that's why I didn't realize or didn't think about in settings there is a way for you to change what the fill block is. Basically when you build a building, some buildings come with a fill block that tells the game, just put anything here, it doesn't matter. That's set to dirt, which isn't usually a problem, but because we've got nothing but sand around us, it really is. So what we can do is we can switch this to sand, like this, if we can find the real sand. Where's the real sand? Sandy dirt? No, we don't want that. Where's sand? This is very weird. I don't see sand in the list. Now I think it could be because sand has gravity, which means it'll like fall, same as concrete powder, and maybe builds don't like that. So what about concrete powder? Yeah, concrete powder isn't here either, so it looks like you can't set sand. What you can do though is set sandstone, and that's easy enough to make, so we're going to make that our fill block, and that's going to be so much better for us going forwards. It also means what I might do is go back to these buildings you see here and replace this dirt with sandstone. It's going to make our builds look a lot more realistic and make them fit with the desert theme just much better. But there we go, that's enough of Minecolonies. So to get started with Oritech, we're going to need a place to do this, and that's why we're going to jump into building the player house. This is going to be a really big structure with lots of room for us to do all kinds of modded things. Now I've been shopping around and we are kind of tight for space over here, but I reckon over here in the corner might be the perfect place for the player house. Let's take a look and see how big it is. So it'll be in decorations, and there it is, the player house, the family estate. Oh yeah, now this is quite big. Now one of you guys mentioned that I use a mod called FreeCam to do some of my filming and things. Why don't I use FreeCam to get a better look at these buildings? And you know what? You're absolutely right. So if we press the FreeCam button, which is F4 by default, you can see, there I am, that's me. Hello, how's it going? But I can also jump around and, oh yeah, this is a much better way of taking a good look at the building so we can get an idea of what it's going to look like when it goes down. There's a nice big courtyard here. A nice area over here for my stuff. Oh, look at this bed. That's really nice. Whoa. Lots of wool for this build, but that shouldn't be a problem. It looks really cool, but the big thing is, with this player house, if we run out of room, I think there's a way to upgrade it, but even if there's not, we can always build downwards and give ourselves a basement to do our modded stuff in. Anyway, let's maneuver this around. Take a look at level 3 actually. That's a good idea. Whoa, okay. Yeah, this gets upgraded massively at level 3. This is definitely something we want. It's a really cool looking building, isn't it? And most beautifully, I don't see any materials from the end. There's some green pillars here, a lot of terracotta, marble maybe, concrete, but nothing from the end. Even these purple bricks over here, that's just purple brick extra. So that's really good. Also no end stone. Oh, thank God. So let's maneuver this around and get it placed. And look at that, fits like a glove. So I think up here will be perfect. Once the borders and the boundaries expand, we can put a retaining wall around the edge to make it look like it fits. And up here on the side of the hill means you can look out from the player house at our colony as it grows. Yeah, this is a good spot. So let's get this built. So this build is raised off the ground, which is really good news for the builder. It means there's a lot less for her to clear. Also, as you can see, the block that's going down isn't dirt, it's sandstone. Oh man, that one change has made building for us just so much easier. We still need a huge amount of sandstone, but sand is not hard to find on this world. While it's quite a big building, it's still not as big as some of the builds from this style, and that's why the builder didn't actually take that long to get this built, which is really good news. It's only level 1, but upgrading this building might mess around with the things that we put inside the building. It might replace some blocks after we've built them, so we have to be very careful with that. But that's a problem for down the line, because this episode and this mini-series is all about Oritech. It's not Minecolonies. All we want is a place to get started with Oritech and see how it works. We can tidy things up later. So, with the building built, let's jump in and take a look into Oritech. What kind of secrets is this mod hiding? So there it is on the horizon, check it out. Yeah, it's a bit high up, but with some retaining walls, it's gonna look amazing. Yeah, so here we go. I've got some coal, some stone, some iron ingots, all of our diamonds, an emerald, copper, lapis, a bit of redstone, a bunch of stuff that I think will see us okay to get going with. I'll get a little bit more wood, because we could use a little bit more wood. You can never have too much, but let's go. Let's go and investigate Oritech, because already we're like way into the episode and we haven't even touched this mod. Now I think we're going to do most of the building. Oh, this is a guard tower, might get that built. We'll do most of our Oritech in the courtyard for now. There's a nice bit of space out here. This looks like a good place to start. And we're in all the mods 10, which is really good. That means if we go to quests, we can dig around on the left and find Oritech. There must be a quest chain for Oritech. And here it is. Now this is going to be key for us getting started. It's going to guide us through the motions from basic 0 to hero. Now it looks like Oritech comes with its own kind of power, cables. I think it might be a completely standalone mod. But it looks like the entire quests begin with nickel, so I've got my pickaxe. Let's go and dig some nickel. Nickel shouldn't be too hard to find. We've got to find out what it looks like first. Then, once we have it in our brains, what the block looks like, we can find it so much easier down in the mines. So if you're having trouble finding nickel, you can always go in, type in nickel into your search bar, and it will come up with the ores. Here we go, nickel ore. It's found between Y-64 and Y-56, so it's kind of found everywhere. Okay, so we've had to come down pretty far to find this, but here it is. Deep slate nickel ore. We couldn't find any in like the regular stone level, but we've come down deep enough, and this is what it looks like side by side with iron. So it is very similar, but nickel is much lighter. We'll need some of this, so let's grab this up, get this smelted. Now also, I didn't even need to go that far deep down, because like I've said before, these little boulders that spawn are from Oritech, and yeah, there's nickel inside these boulders as well. That's really good for us, so we can grab some of this, and it's going to help. We're not going to completely clear out this boulder though, because down the line, we're going to want to remember where this boulder was, because these boulders are put into the world for a reason. Later on, you can use these locations as a place to drill for like an almost infinite source of precious ores. So we'll smelt this up, and we'll be able to do that first quest. There it is, 2 to get going with, but since the quest is complete, let's jump in and get that completed. So nickel, oh, we need 4 to do the quest. So we'll get 2 more out of here. So there we go, 4 nickel. That should be the quest complete. So we'll go down here, submit this, and get some nice XP as a reward. So from nickel, there's a lot of choices about where we can go. Now Oritech is a bit of a complicated mod to say the least. It all revolves around kind of building machines. If you've ever played immersive engineering, the way you have to piece loads of different blocks together to make big multi-block machines, it's very similar to that. So the first thing we're going to do is make some simple machine cores. And we'll put these over there on the left. Start with primitive, go to basic. We might need improved, we might need advanced down the line, but we'll stop there for now. So primitive machine core is just a crafting table and a bunch of planks. So let's do that. Bunch of planks. bunch of crafting tables, put these in the middle, wrap some wood around the edge like this, and we have 16 primitive machine cores. Whoa! Okay, that created loads of quests for us. That's crazy. But there we go, the primitive machine core. That's a quest we can complete. Oh, and it's going to give us some basic ones as a reward. That's pretty cool. So with primitive, you can then move on to basic. What do you need to make a basic one? Oh, okay. So basic is just lapis wrapped with iron. We have loads of both of these, so let's make some of these as well. There's 3. We'll wrap some more iron around here. And I reckon if we go to like 12, that's a good place to be. 12 basic cores. Once you get to improved machine cores, oh, things do get a bit more technical. You need like fluxite and carbon fiber strands, crazy. But the way these cores work, I believe, is you can kind of make all the machines you want with primitive cores, but if you use basic machine cores to make your machines, you can see with the text here, better cores allow more add-on extenders to be connected. Oh my god, whoa! So if you hold Alt as well, there's a mini guide inside the mod. Oh, amazing. Now if I click Getting Started, is that going to open a web page? No. Oh, okay, right. I think forget the quests. This is probably the better place to start. So gather resources. You need to gather some resources to begin. Oh, whoa, look, it even comes with pictures. I love it. I mean, if you guys like reading at home, like I do, I can't read a book unless there's lots and lots of pictures. But this is exactly what we're looking for. Start by looking for an ore boulder or go mining. You'll need copper, iron, coal, and nickel. Well, we've got all of those things. In fact, let's just grab up that coal because we don't want to waste that. We can just use planks because planks are dirt cheap. But there we go, we have the basic resources. So once we've gathered the resources, we can get into basic power generation. Okay, so let's start by building our first generator. Build a basic generator. This won't generate a lot of power, but it's sufficient to get you started. When you need more power, consider more generators or exploring other types of generators offered by Oritech. So let's do it. We have our work cut out for us. Nickel ingots, copper ingots, some magnetic coils, and a furnace. So these are the types of generators you can get with Oritech. Pretty interesting. The basic generator, which is what we're going for. There's also a fuel generator, which I imagine uses fuel, a lava generator, or a biogenerator. So depending on what resources you have a lot of, different ones of these are going to be better. So basic generator, magnetic coil. A magnetic coil is, steel? Now, steel is pretty common in a lot of mods, but obviously, yeah, Oritech is going to have its own steel, biosteel, which you make by smelting biosteel dust. You make biosteel dust by infusing iron with biomass, or if you want to do it the Oritech way, you can alloy it using an alloy machine, raw biopolymer, which you get in a... Oh my god, it gets very complicated, but I love it. I love how technical Oritech is. So we got the 3 steel now. Let's see if we can make a magnetic coil. So steel in the middle, then nickel on the top and the bottom. Oh yes, thank god, we get 4 per craft. Now, I believe that's everything. We'll make a furnace out of some cobblestone. Hey presto, we have Bish Bash Bosh, a basic generator. Now, as always, it is really worth going into your quests in all the mods, making sure you're getting all of these done, handing them in like this because you'll get a reward. And this reward is a block of coal. That's very valuable. So we have power. Amazing. Let's put this down in the courtyard over here. Put it in the corner. And let's take a look. So it's a pretty cool looking block. And I love it when mods add these custom blocks that have weird kind of, models. Very nice. Not a conventional block, this. So the basic generator is a basic generator. It burns stuff and makes power from it. So we're going to plunk in jungle planks because, yeah, coal is valuable and this still works. Oh my god, listen to that. Custom sound effects. Oh man, yeah, look at it go. It's chugging away. Oh, Oritech. Where has this mod been? So amazing. I love it when a new big tech mod busts onto the scene. And it's amazingly awesome. So we're getting power, my dudes. What can we do with this power? Let's consult the quests. So basic power generation, we've done that. Next up, assembling components. Okay, time to build an assembler, my dudes. An assembler can craft some things like wires, coils, and motors more efficiently. Excellent news for us. And it can craft some things that we're not able to craft. So this is essential. You cannot progress down the mod without having an assembler. So once we've built the assembler, we can build a centrifuge. But let's focus on the assembler. Okay, so we need motors. We need copper, carbon, nickel, or iron reinforced plating. So that's a choice. We need adamant ingots. We need copper ingots. And we need crafters. Well, crafters are pretty simple, so let's make one of these. So one more motor, and that gets us 2. That also completes the quest, so we'll hand this in. Amazing. And get some XP. It also leads on to the assembler quest, so that's kind of perfect. And doing the assembler quest will get us 2 motors. That's pretty cool. So, let's do it. We've got 2 motors, we've got 2 magnetic coils. Next, we're going to make crafters. These are pretty simple. We start with 2 crafting tables. Then we'll need 2 droppers. Then we're going to need... No, I think that's it. Perfect. 1, 2. 2 crafters, 2 motors, 2 magnetic coils. Next up, let's make some reinforced plating. Now, we've got loads of iron, so I feel like iron is the one we want to go to. All we need is... Oh my god, more steel. Oh, wow! This mod is so steel hungry, it's unreal. So here we go, the pieces are all coming together now. Every single craft gets you 2 of these reinforced plating. That's pretty good. Copper is not a problem, but what is an adamant ingot? Oh, okay. So already with the assembler, it's required that you have diamonds. That's pretty early in a mod for you to need diamonds. Luckily enough, they're not too uncommon, and we got 14, but still. That's expensive, and 2 of them as well. That's crazy. So we combine nickel with the diamond to get adamant. Not a real ingot. I don't think that's a real ingot in the world. But that should be everything. Bam! The assembler. So we have an assembler. And look, oh, this is really cool. So when you go to place this down, it's not a single block. This has to go somewhere where there's enough room for, well, yeah, a 2x2. So we'll put this, I think here is going to be good. And wait, it's just the 1 block. Well, it looks like there's a plug socket here. Maybe when we give this power, it's going to expand and unfold into the assembler. But let's find out. The thing we need to do now is get power from the basic generator over to the assembler. We don't actually have to build cables if we put this right next to a machine that makes power. So let's see if this works. I'm going to try and maneuver this. Oh yeah, look at this. So the assembler is getting power now because it's been placed right next to the basic generator with the plug socket facing the generator. That's one way of doing it, and probably the best way of doing it when you don't have any cables yet. Machine not assembled. Aha! So this is the core block, the assembler, but we have to add extra cores to make the entire machine. And this is where things like the primitive machine core and the basic machine core come in, because I think all we have to do is put down basic machine cores in these 4 bits. Then we're going to right click on the main block. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, that's so cool. Look at that animation. Now it's kind of facing the wrong way. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to dig all this up and make it look a bit neater. Here like this, then the machine cores where they were before. Empty hand, right click, and there we go, we got the bench. Amazing. Looking pretty cool. Oh my god, yes, I love it. So we've done gathering resources, we've done basic power generation, we've also done assembling components. It does ask us to build a centrifuge, so maybe that's the next step. Centrifuge separates and transforms items. It can be used to extract ore dusts from clumps. Oh, kind of like mechanism. And the clumps are obtained from a fragment forge, spin coal dust into carbon fiber strands. Ah, that's something we need. Or with a fluid add-on, process oil or wheat into plastic sheets. How can you get plastic from wheat? We'll put it on the left like this, and I imagine, yeah, it's more of the same. Blocks of iron, 2 motors that we already have, copper and glass bottles. I believe I have everything we're going to need to do this. So let's give it a try. Now what's really cool about this generator is every single side is an output. So while we have the basic assembler here, we can also put the centrifuge here, like that. It looks like it has power accepted from both sides, and I think it's a single block. So right click, no, it wants one more block above it. So we'll put the machine core there. And oh yeah, look at this unfold as well. The animations for this mod are crazy. This looks amazing. It's like got little glass bottles. I imagine they spin. That's super awesome. So let's actually right click on these machines, find out what they do. The assembler has a 2x2 grid and power, and I imagine it just makes stuff. Okay, that's fairly simple. The centrifuge, likewise, you put something here and you get one, maybe two things on the side. There are add-ons. Oh my god, so you can add things next to the machine to improve what the machine does. Likewise with the assembler add-ons, you can put things on the front, the sides. Oh man, that looks very cool. I'm not quite sure what kind of add-ons we're going to put on these machines, but I'm sure the mod's going to tell us as we progress through the quests. Oh, look at this. We got an add-on as a reward. Perfect. So we did the centrifuge quest. Now we have something called a speed add-on. So in theory, we can put this here next to the machine, and that adds speed. 150%. Let's try and pick it up and see if that changes anything. Yeah, look at this. So at the moment it's 100% speed, but if we put down the speed add-on, it becomes 150. Now this looks really messy. It doesn't look like it fits here at all. But if it works, and having a fast centrifuge sounds like a good move. Let's keep going with the quests. We've built an assembler and a centrifuge, so assembling components is sorted. Next up, making steel. Whoa. You can make steel, electrum, and adamant in a crafting table, like we've been doing, but it wastes resources to do it that way. Yeah, we know it does. Oh my god, we've gone through so much coal. As soon as you can, you will want to build a pulverizer and a foundry so that you can make alloys more efficiently. Oh, that sounds amazing. Okay, well let's do this. So number one, a pulverizer to pulverize things, and a foundry to smelt things. There's the pulverizer and the foundry. Where's the foundry? There it is, the foundry. So number one, a pulverizer. We'll need steel, we'll need nickel, some plating, and some motors. So here we go, the pulverizer. We wanted to make some motors. We have one. We want two. Two motors in the bag. We want iron reinforced plating, so we'll make two more of those. Sure, why not? Oh, we didn't need to make that because we already had some, but I'm sure this is going to come in handy for later crafts. And that's it. The pulverizer. Amazing. So we'll put the pulverizer here next to the generator. There we go, it's powering up. And let's give it a try. Let's pulverize something. So what about some copper ore? Raw copper. Let's pulverize this. Oh yeah, look at that animation. I knew it was going to look cool. But it pulverizes the copper into copper dust and small copper dust. Interesting. You can use the small copper dust to make a bigger one, but it's not quite as efficient as using a hammer, so for now the hammer is slightly superior. Still, it's good to know that this exists for Oritech. Well, that's the pulverizer, but the next step, the big step, is going to be the foundry. Now, this needs electrum, which again was not something easy to craft. You can smelt it. Electrum is as simple as combining silver dust with gold dust. Now, we did get some silver ore, but I don't think I brought it with me. Didn't think that silver was going to be needed. We did bring some gold, but let's get back to base and pick up some silver. So with our hammer, we smash up some gold. We'll make, I think, 12. We'll smash up some silver. Likewise, we'll make 12. Then we combine the gold dust and the silver dust to make electrum dust, and smelt this up to turn it into bars. Oh man, yeah, this all makes sense. So far, no problems whatsoever. Nothing has been tricky for us, which I was kind of expecting it to be, because remember, we're in a purely desert world here. So challenges are going to be thrown at us left, right, and center. Luckily, anything that's kind of heavily tech, is usually all about ores and minerals you find in the ground. And even though it's a desert, the underground is the same as anywhere. And here we go, the foundry. We'll need 1 cauldron, which is just a bit of iron. And then I think we are good to go, my dudes. Yeah. So the foundry, and there's 1 more position on our basic generator, the 4th position. So it's kind of well designed. We'll put the foundry there, plug in more basic machine cores. Again, we could use the simple machine cores, the primitive ones, but the basic ones are a tier above. So why would you use the worst machine cores? If we right click on this, it'll probably unfold into the foundry. Oh yeah, look at this bad boy. Very cool looking. There isn't really a front, so you can't really get this positioned wrong. And yeah, oh man, so that's the basic starter quests done. We've made the pulverizer, tick that checkbox. Ooh, and this has given us some item pipes. Very cool. Like I've said, Oritech comes with everything you'll need for the entire mod, which means it also comes with energy cables and item pipes, 2 things that tech mods really can't live without. Now, to get this all the mods quest done, the foundry, we're also going to need to make 4 adamant ingots. But now we have the foundry, let's use the foundry to make them instead. So with the foundry, okay, so it's 2 diamonds per adamant if you don't use a foundry, or it's 1 if you do. That is much more efficient, so let's make 4 adamant ingots. We'll put 1, 2, 3, 4 diamonds there. Then we'll put 4 nickel below it. Let's watch it in action. Okay, so that's how this thing works. There's some stuff moving. It's got some cool sound effects, and there's something moving around the back. What is that? Oh, it's like a big old spinning motor thing. That's very cool. Man, I love this mod. It's just so detailed. It really does churn through the power though. You can see our 1 lone generator right now is really struggling. But we are going to get there eventually. And there we go, 4 adamant ingots. Very nice. We go to the quests now. We can turn this in, and that's going to, oh man. 1 basic machine core. That's not a great reward, but it's something. Now it's time to start fragmenting ore, so I want to get through getting started, at least. A fragment forge can enhance the yield of ores. When ores are processed in a fragment forge, they are broken into clumps and small clumps, so this is a lot like Mechanism if you've ever played Mechanism. Mechanism is all about taking ores, breaking them into things, washing them, infusing them, and in the end you can turn 1 ore into 5 bars. Pretty good. It looks like Oritech does something very similar, and there is a chain of events for this thing. So a fragment forge makes ores into clumps. Clumps then go into a centrifuge to convert them into dusts, and dusts can be smelted in a furnace. So fragment forge, I don't imagine this is going to be very hard to craft. But I guess we'll find out. The fragment forge, whoa, okay. Things have just got a little bit crazier because now we need a flux gate. But you know what, my dudes? Going through all of this has taught me 2 very important things. Number 1, I don't think we're quite ready to really jump into Oritech. We need a lot of steel, a lot of ores and things. Ideally, I'd have a computer where I can put all of my stuff and bring it out. Then we'd have loads of materials to work with because we'd have access to everything we have. But number 2, there's no way all of these machines are going to fit in my player house. My player house will become entirely Oritech with no room for anything else. So it's become very clear to me, we're going to need to design a lab. I'm going to design an Oritech lab. We're going to have the builder build it up on the mountain somewhere, and it's going to be a dedicated space for us to dive into Oritech. But this has been a look at getting started with Oritech. It's very exciting. There's some very cool ways of doing things. I'm not sure if many of them compete with how efficient other mods are in all the mods 10 for making things like, for example, steel. This is a pretty good way of making steel, but it uses a lot of power, and I think other mods have more efficient ways. But it is so cool. The animations are so slick. Everything looks really cool. And as far as tech goes, there's a huge amount of depth to this mod without it being overwhelming or too mathematics heavy. So that's really cool. So a massive thank you, my dudes, for watching this episode of Endless Sands. Today we looked at getting started with Oritech. It's a really cool mod that I really do want to get into, but we're going to have to build our own dedicated space to get really in-depth with it because it's a very complicated mod with a lot of bells and whistles. We also built our player house, and this thing is really cool. I'd love to get a computer, so I think maybe next episode we'll get a computer built if we can, because storage is a real issue for us. But a massive thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're a YouTube or Patreon member, keep your names coming in on the Discord, and we'll add them to the list, because pretty soon we're going to be expanding the colony and inviting more people to come and stay. But a massive thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like it. But a massive thank you for watching, and until next episode, my dudes, take care.